Oregon. To give you some idea of scale, each of the buildings I'm pointing to there is 100 meters by 50 meters by 4 stories, and that's where the servers go. Okay, the people don't go into those buildings very often. They actually work in the other 2 buildings. That is an awful lot of compute and storage and network power concentrated in 2 buildings. Google announced that they're building 25 of these sites worldwide. That's something called Google. It's not alone. Amazon builds data centers of this size. Yahoo builds data centers of this size. eBay builds data centers of this size. There's an awful lot of compute power. And it's only called we record, by the way, because the conservative estimates for the power consumption are 120 megawatts just for the compute. There's a dam upstream that they need in order to power this. Okay? That's what large-scale infrastructure is going to look like to sell you things over the web for the next few years. What Amazon realized very cleverly is that through virtualization, through the ability to isolate people's usage of infrastructure through a combination of hardware and software technologies, they could rent out for a fee parts of that infrastructure. Okay? Amazon is really, really good at selling things on the web with very low margins, right? Werner this morning said, look, we sell things cheaply. What he's really telling you is that they have an infrastructure for selling you things automatically. There's zero touch, or their goal is zero touch between the time you click your credit card and the time the thing that you purchase is delivered to you. That's how they keep the margins low. The more they can automate the process associated with the sale, the cheaper it's going to be for them to sell you something. So they have very, very elaborate, powerful, sophisticated web services that front their e-commerce venue, their e-commerce infrastructure. Those web services could be used to conduct a rental transaction just as they are used today to conduct sales and rental transactions for things that are not infrastructure. Like books and movies and digital cameras and everything else you buy on Amazon. All of that infrastructure could be used to sell you this good. It's just another good. Yes, it is a rental model. Right? You pay for it, and then you stop paying for it, and your access to what it is that you are buying is time synchronized with those 2 events. That's not hard, right? I mean, that's not a big stretch for them. The movies and so on and so forth. So they have this wonderful web service infrastructure which allows you access to this. It's very scalable. It's incredibly sophisticated. Okay, when you buy something from Amazon, there is a web page, typically, that tells you what it is you're buying. Let's think about a book. You're buying a book. You've got a web page that says it's written by this author. It has this title. Here's the publisher. Here's how many pages. It's hardback. That, unfortunately, is what today we call an SLA. It's telling you what level of service you're going to get from the book when you purchase it. Okay? If you're going to rent something from Amazon that isn't a book, you need something that's an alias, an SLA. It's really a quality of service specification. But QoS, for reasons that escape me, hasn't been attached to this particular notion in a cloud computing interaction. So we'll call it an SLA. But all it is a description, perhaps in human readable terms, perhaps not, of what it is that you are going to rent or buy from a set of web services. Okay? And then lastly, there are users. And the users consult the SLAs, make their selections, put in their credit card, and are delivered the goods. Now, another important feature that is overlooked quite frequently is that that's transaction. When you buy a digital camera, they don't send you 40% of the parts and charge you 40% of the price. And then have you come back and purchase the other 60% and then go through some sort of assembly process. That would be confusing. Same thing with books. What if they sold you every other word and charged you half price? Not useful. What really makes cloud computing work, at least from an infrastructure as a service perspective, is that it is transaction. You put your credit card in and you get back the rental or not. Not partial failures, not, oh, in 3 hours we'll give it to you, but right now you can't have it. No, it's a transaction. And that has really driven the interest in this particular model of computing, beyond things like grid computing and other competitive models, very, very quickly. It's easy to understand. And the only way to reason about things happening at this scale is that they're transactions. That's cloud computing. And really, it is controversial to define it in that way because Many companies now have a tremendous vested interest in going beyond that model, and that's okay. Cloud computing will become something very different than what I just described to you, but today, that's what it is. All right, so if you